We started, good morning, we started yesterday the Akedah. Let's continue. Take the Chumash important.
Oh, I didn't get the question, so.
So let's see again,
Yeah,
Perek Chafbet Pasuk Gimel. It's the same Chumash. Let's read again Pasuk Gimel, Perek Chafbet Pasuk Gimel. The Ran is Rabbeinu Nissim. He says openly that Hashem did not command Abraham. Hashem expressed to Abraham what he had in mind. And the Ran says that had Abraham not done it, Hashem would not say anything. He's not up to it. This was obviously the challenge here. The Ran, remember, this is the Ran. This is not the local.
Maybe we wouldn't have known. You wouldn't put it in the Torah. We might not even know.
No, but you realize he's explaining, he's giving a different direction to the Nisayon. So, Pasuk Gimel, Vayashkem Avraham b'boker. Hashem did not tell Abraham to do it tomorrow. Hashem didn't tell him to do it a month ago. Why are you running in the morning? Why are you running in the morning to do it? Every detail here in the Pesukim are showing us the greatness of Abraham. He gets up in the morning. Vayachbosh himself is preparing his donkey. ויקח את שני נעריו איתו, which שני נעריו,
doesn't mention the names of the Shnei Na'arav.
Yes, says Rashi, Ishmael Eliezer. The same question you have is in Parashat Chayei Sarah. Abraham, ויאמר לעבדו זקן ביתו המושל בכל אשר לא שים לה ידך תחת ידכי. I mean, he is the main man in the story, and Eliezer's name is not there. Yeah. He's the messenger, he is the one that deals with it. Laban, the only time that the name of Eliezer was mentioned is when Abraham went to rescue his nephew. ויקח את שני נעריו איתו, in the minute you'll see, ואת יצחק בנו, again, every time the name Yitzchak is written, with Beno, Vayivaka, Abraham himself is preparing the wood, Vayivaka Tzeorah, and we assume now that the wood is placed on the donkey. Later, when he leaves the two behind with the donkey, then we see that he tells Yitzchak to pick up the wood. Vayakam Vayelech. What is Vayakam Vayelech? Vayelech. You know, sometimes you're dragging yourself to go someplace. You have to go, you're going to do it. But Yakam.
What does it say by Yaakov?
What?
When you strengthen yourself.
I'm saying again, if you go to a place that you like very much, no one has to encourage you, you have the, sometimes, Chaz v'shalom, you go to a funeral. You have to go. But Yakam, he shows that he's doing it eagerly and willingly. Now each one of you has the same chumash. Look a second now, the Or HaChaim. The Or HaChaim here is revealing a question that most normally never pay attention to. Was Sarah part of the story here or not? Did she know that Abraham is taking Yitzchak?
Not according to Rashi. In the next beginning of the next parsha, why she died, because she heard that what he did.
In a minute, yeah. Okay, so what you're saying is, of course, this Rashi has multiple interpretations.
Sure.
Larry's pointing out. Look at the Rashi in the beginning of Chayei Sarah.
No, I'm good. But what are the rules of Nivuah? What are the rules of Nivuah? Does a person have to keep it to himself?
Let's first look at There are two types of nevuot.
So we had it like with Yosef, like when Yosef had the dreams, did he have the chovah
Yosef
to
did not have the nevuah, he had a dream.
Okay.
In a minute you'll see it. Look a second at David in your Chumash on page, I think it's Shin Tzadik Daled again. You know which page? Open at the beginning of Chayei Sarah a second.
Yeah.
Shin Tzadik Vav, Rashi. Look at top, the page is Shin Tzadik Vav. When Sarah dies next week, it says, Vayavu Avraham, Yispod Sarah v'Rivkota. It says Rashi, V'nismecha mitat Sarah la'akedat Yitzchak. Why is Parashat Chayei Sarah, the death of Sarah, is written after the Akedah? לפי שעל ידי בשורת העקדה, שנזדמן בנה לשחיטה. So I'm saying it the way Larry understood and the way many people understand. When she heard that her son was almost offered as a korban, וכמעט שלא נשחט, פרחה נשמתה ממנה ומתה. Isn't the simple pshat Rashi?
She heard it from where? The guys, Eliezer and Ismail was down the mountain waiting for them. So how does she hear it? Abraham is saying up there.
You assume that she heard it 60 seconds later or 90. Few days after Abraham is back and she heard that her son was almost there, it doesn't say that she heard it as they are going to the Akedah. But you see, Larry, look carefully at the text of Rashi.
By the way, here he has to be 37 years old.
לפי שעל ידי בשורת העקדה, מה זה בשורת העקדה? שנזדמן בנה לשחיטה, מה זה בכמעט שלא נשחט? מה זה בכמעט? ולא נשחט. Most commentators learn the Rashi. Sit with you, you need this Chumash. Most commentators say the Rashi that she died because she was afraid that he was not up to the test. V'kimat shelo nishchat, yes? But some learned the way he said, the way he understood. Some learned that when she heard it, he was almost there, he died. So the question is, which means Rashi can be interpreted in both ways. Our question is, did Sarah know that Abraham is taking Yitzchak or not? So the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, this is a Moroccan commentator, Kadosh, 250 years ago, says as follows. Look at the Orach Chaim now. Each one of you has it. This is why we have 5 Chumashim the same. Look a second. והי אלוקים ניסה, it's Pasuk Aleph. It's not Sam, we're looking at Orach Chaim. Sam, sit near Eli because we're going to spend time with Orach Chaim. So I bought 2 Chumashim of my own. והי אלוקים ניסה, you see like the Orach Chaim there?
2 lines up from the bottom.
It says, the Pasuk says, ויהי אחר הדברים האלה, והי אלוקים ניסה. So say, היי אלוקים ניסה. says the Orach Chaim, אמר והי אלוקים, בתוספת ו' דו', כלומר מלבד ניסיונות שקדמו, besides the other 9, according to many ראשונים, this is number 10, הוסיף לנסותו בגבורת הדין ניסיון עצום. Please remember that what we are about to read is the Orach Chaim's reading of the Psukim.
I forget for a minute. Is Elokim midat hadin or midat?
This is the next.
All right.
ויאמר אליו אברהם, טעם הקריאה להודיעו קודם, כי בא אלוקים לשאול ממנו דבר גדול. I'm about to have a big request. והבין אברהם understood, ואמר אליו, הנני, הריני מוכן לכל אשר תאמר. כך נא, this is the Or HaChaim's interpretation, פירוש, תקף ומיד. זה לא שאלה זמן, not a month later, now. ואף זה והניסיון, שלא ישאל ממני זמן, give me a month. Spend with my son. כך נא.
The opposite of Noach.
The opposite, כמעשה, ותפתח. If you remember, when the leader Yiftach made the mistake of making a letter, that if he comes back victorious, whoever comes out first from his house, he would sacrifice. So unfortunately, his daughter came out, and she says to her father, fine, but give me 2 months to spend time with my friends. And this is text. So he says the Or HaChaim is opposite here. There's no time. Do it. This is part of the Nisayon. To say goodbye in a very abrupt way, he learns it's part of the Nisayon. Now here, the Or HaChaim says a chidush. This is his interpretation. Od ramaz lo, sheikach et Sarah b'dvarim. He says that Hashem is hinting to him to speak to his wife, להתרצות אליו ולהוליכו עמו, to give him permission. וכן,
But how does he learn that?
It's easier to sacrifice your child than to ask.
וכן אמרו ז"ל, the Or HaChaim doesn't have a guts or even a thought to say it on his own, וכן אמרו ז"ל, כי כל אותו הלילה, עברי זה מדרש תנחומא, כל אותו הלילה היה אברהם מפייס לשרה, the entire night.
Told her?
ככה הוא אומר. זה הוא אומר, אף אחד לא אומר. הוא אומר,
That's why she died, I think.
No, she was shocked.
No, she was aware.
if she knew Joseph, why did she die? She knew in advance.
She's not shocked.
All I did, if you learn that she died because of the shock, she didn't know.
But if somebody hears that their son had a terrible accident, but you say, okay, he's okay now, but he had that, so it's not going to affect you.
כי כל אותו הלילה היה אברהם מפייס לשרה להסכים עמו, שיוליכנו ללמדו תורה עד אור הבוקר. ללמדו תורה means you're not going to see him back. He's going to yeshiva for 50 years. This is his interpretation. There is a sefer called Avnei Shoam. He was one of the greatest real scholars of Yerushalayim, not by vote. He says the opposite. He says the reason why Abraham is not speaking to Sarah, at least in the text, is because if he speaks to her, he was afraid that she would encourage him. And if she encourages him, half of the challenge is gone.
Oh, he
But
wouldn't.
part of
That was
the
the opposite.
part of the challenge is,
Wow.
well, you can't go nowhere.
Hashem told you, of course, go.
Where is he? Where?
Yeah.
But this is part of the challenge, yes.
But
But
also
also the
the
challenge
great
is if
mention-
Hashem lets me know,
That's
not
some
she.
take on it.
This goes back to Eli's question. Eli was asking before, did Sarah know or not? According to this interpretation, obviously she
Yeah.
didn't
No,
know.
they-
And he
Both,
says,
yeah.
I'm talking to you. I didn't tell your wife, this is your challenge. Part of the challenge is, how would you come home? ככה הוא אומר.
Rabbi, the other side of the coin is that he talks to her and she says no, and now he has a dilemma. Hashem asked him, didn't
What
command
would-
him.
what
So
would
now what does he do?
Abraham-
Hashem asked
What
him,
would
and
Abraham do if she would say no?
They tell you
right?
They tell you, they tell you
It's
never.
my excuse. My wife told me. My wife wouldn't let me do it.
Never ask a question unless you're prepared to get the answer.
Helps him.
Right? Never ask a question unless you're prepared to accept the answer.
Now, so what he said now is his own chidush.
Yeah.
Now he's saying a bigger chidush.
But
All
how,
my life, when I learned that more than once, Yitzchak doesn't know until they're coming near. Look what he said. עוד ירמוז על יצחק, שיקחהו בדברי ריצוי. Try to talk to Yitzchak before and try to soften him. שהרי לא נתנסה כל ימיו. He's a kid. It's the first time you have a challenge in your life, and the challenge is your life. This is his chidush. V'tziva Hashem she'yikacheu.
37.
Or the Ibn Ezra says he's around 13. He's a teenager. She'yikacheu. See, if you take the Ibn Ezra, you understand better
But
what
Ora
he
Haim
says.
says
He's
how
a
old?
kid. He's a kid. He's a teenager. If he's 37, what?
Ora Haim says how old? How
No,
old
he
was
doesn't. He doesn't say. So say no. Say this chidush Joseph. It is told prepare him. ולהכניסם בליבו מעלת הדבר אם יקרב עולה להשם. I remember to us, this is strange, but we do live in a world that our brothers and sisters, why would a good Israeli guy volunteer to a combat unit if he can easily sit on a couch in Tel Aviv and watch screens and give his the answer is I believe that what I'm doing is a mission, right? But it's all the trillion of the Lord is why would the Muslim agree to go to suicide? Prepare him. I mean, the concept we do believe, yes. When Israelis sent the airplanes to Uganda, I mean, there's a book on it.
Yeah.
Each pilot was told there are 50% chances you're not coming back, and you don't have to go to because it's
Uganda or Iraq?
none of them hesitated. All I mean, I'm showing you it's inhuman. I mean,
Mission, yeah.
if you're not a real American, this is part of your upbringing. Your life is a mission. So try to prepare. But he says, Yitzchak never had a challenge in his life.
Even at 37, he could have been sheltered. We never had a challenge. This is his first challenge.
I'm saying
At what
by
age?
37, you are a man, you have your own. You look further. So now remember, now he's going to explain the Orach Chaim et bincha, et yechidcha asher havta. So we saw the Rashi. Abraham says, I have two sons. Each one is the only child, his mother. This is what he says. את בנך כאן רמז לגימל האבות שחייבה תורה לכל איש ישראל. לאהוב את הבורא בכל לב, בכל נפש, בכל מאודיך. Every day, twice a day, or maybe 3 times a day, we say, ואהבת את השם בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך, ובכל מאודיך. בכל לב, אין לך דבר שחביב בלב אדם כאהבת הבנים. He says, בכל לבבך, we love our kids more than anything. So this is as if ואהבת את השם בכל לבבך. We'll go to the next page. The next page. וכנגד בכל נפשך אמר את יחידך, וכיוון שאין לו אלא הוא הנפש. מי שאין לו בנים, חשוב כמת.
This is Rachel.
Rachel says to Yaakov, "Hava li banim v'mayim meita anochi." It's everything you have.
Well, you had it with Sarah, Ulai Yibaneh Mimena, but okay.
וכנגד ובכל מאודיך. מה זה בכל מאודיך? זה פשט, הוא עושה שמע. This is your possessions. אמר אשר אהבת, פירוש אותו אהבת יותר מכל קנייניך. יצחק is the most expensive possession you have. אותו אהבת יותר מכל קנייניך כנגדו עין. ואף על פי כן ועלהו לעולם. Which means the Orach Chaim is trying to dig into the command of Hashem. Hashem is really challenging Abraham on multiple levels.
Is it commentary which son in this case?
No, it's
It's assumed that Yitzhak is the favorite.
The Orach Chaim is 500 years after Rashi. He knew the Rashi, but he's saying, in addition, Hashem is so to say hinting to him.
This is a special.
But this is countering Rashi. This is when he says, because according to Rashi, she didn't know, and she dies from the news.
Asking now Lala's question,
No.
some learned that Rashi accept opposite.
That
When she heard that he was not, she thought that he failed. This is why she died.
Mhm.
So me and my husband failed to tell you our challenge.
He didn't make the cut.
I mean,
But
no, Paul, when we looked, you know,
You
we
couldn't-
read the Rashi inside that.
Okay.
Because if you tuned into the language of Rashi, Rashi is able to words, no meaning.
So with
So you
with
could
that
fit that
line of
with Chaim?
interpretation, it sounds like Sarah is greater than Abraham.
But,
Oh.
but this Dvar Torah obviously is based on that.
Yeah.
And besides, yesterday, if you remember, he pointed out yesterday, you have twice Lech Lecha in the Nishonot of Abraham, right? Lech Lecha Me'aretzecha, and then Lech Lecha here. And the Midrash is asking, which one is bigger? Eini Yodea is a man gadol. What's the question?
It sounds like this.
It depends how you learn. Okay, the conclusion is, what?
The first one, it was the starting point.
Right.
This is already he's in
Right,
talking
right, that's right. Some say that in life, the first real challenge is the hardest challenge.
Wow.
You come to a kid, I mean, this is history. You come to a kid in drugs, the first cigarette that you took was your challenge, and this is why you're here. So after you're already challenged once, twice, 3 times, it's not as hard. On the other hand, which means
But the level of the challenge.
Right.
Generally, you think levels of
means that
challenge
we
go
have-
up and up.
that quality-wise, of course, that kid is hard.
Yeah.
But as far as the okay, yes,
But he's used to the fact that he's been challenged.
it's being challenged. It's a
Yeah.
challenge. It's a challenge.
Rabbi Prague,
Yes, yes.
in your reading of these last couple of parshiot, if there were 10 nisyonot, why didn't they list the 10? And why, if they, or did they not list the 10 because this was so great? So you understood that this was the
But if you look in Avot Perek and you see the Machloket, I mean,
No, but they try to find all 10 of them.
so normally we did read. So you have like this, Lech Lecha, then the famine, then the abduction of Sarah, then Sarah's death, and you cannot find a place to bury her, and you have to pay a lot of money for that. Then the Milchama, the Milchemet HaMelachim, everything I told you, 6 already, it's listed, yes. It is listed, but it's not, the Torah is not making a big deal out of it, except the first and the second. The first, maybe tomorrow we'll go through the Pirkei Avot Perek, you'll see the different opinions. But almost everyone at least the Akedah is one of them. Many list Ukasdim, the Rambam does not want to list Ukasdim.
Well, it has to be, it's no chidush that it was one of them because it says Vayalokim Nisa. I mean, that's simple. But by the other ones, there was no, I don't know if there was a Lashon Nisayon.
You're right, the Pasuk does not mention by any of them.
And also, when you read this Akedah and Chafbet, it appears that it was written in such a way for us to learn what we want to learn within this.
Certainly as many other places.
Right. This is really, you could hear not any, but you could hear many interpretations in this.
Yeah.
That's sort of makes it. Look at the pasuk before. Why did he put Yitzchak after? Everything is like shown singular, and he puts Yitzchak behind Eliezer and Yishmael. There are a million questions you can learn here.
What do you say?
No, I'm sorry. Politics. All right.
You're like, it's over, you're like.
Oh, it's over.
It's a new beginning, we have to get used to a new reality.
You saw the map, Rabbi?
Yeah, okay. At least.
Ronnie,
this-
I checked,
Did we do good?
I checked 100 spots.
Yeah.
Only one spot voted more for Cuomo than this block. East
Yeah,
4th, 5th,
yeah.
6th, only one block
Wow.
in Midwood was more. We were 93.5%.
Wow.
If you look at the
Borough
map,
block, not one.
Where was the other block?
Midwood, like J, K and L, M and.
so this is
14, 18,
Manhattan
like that.
Beach, this is
I'm sorry to change
Ocean
it. No,
Park,
my
right, this is
fault.
Borough Park.
Took us away.
all solid for corn. This is also Rockaway.
Senate District
Staten
22,
Island.
my Senate district is by far the most for Cuomo in the whole city. Of course,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
Republicans.
Yeah, look at the map is very obvious.
Yeah, but drill down.
Let's continue, let's
Okay,
continue, let's
sorry.
continue.
My fault. Slip up.
Let's continue.
You click block by block.
You can click block by block.
Yeah, on the time.
4 blocks at a time.
ביום השלישי, so remember, here is
I say what Rabbi Prague said. What do we learn from, forget all these statistics. What do we learn and what are we supposed to think? And what is the message that if you believe what Hashem is giving us, and what are we supposed to think and do with this message?
it's a very big.
Is it the Prashal or politics? I'm not sure where he is here.
Rabbi Massel gave us a bit on Shabbat.
He's talking about
about this
it, and
topic.
then it's a very strong reminder that
You saw swastika on Mac and David this morning.
Oh.
here, this morning, and the
Already?
big Sephardic school, Magen
Four
David, they
swastikas.
found 4 swastikas this morning, you know.
Painted or?
No,
Spray it.
kind of explain.
I hope we don't have to answer one time when why we had an Isayon and we failed.
Yeah.
First one to admit that I'm not running either, but it's a little scary when you think about it. Why we didn't learn much from history, or I didn't learn much from history.
You see this,
Look at
Larry?
the picture.
You see
Yeah, I see.
You have to hold it down straight.
No, yeah.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah.
Look at that.
How do you think it started in Germany? I mean, it's the same, but
This is what every, so,
Oh, yeah,
so,
so
so-
it's exactly because it has
and we're doing exactly what they did. It's the same.
Yeah. ויאמר, look at פסוק ה', פסוק ד', ביום השלישי, ויסע, no, but it's a reminder to us, but it happened to be Magen David because Flatbush is in J, people are afraid, you have cameras all over the place, the way he did it, I'm sure the cameras,
This
this
camera.
camera.
camera, now this camera.
Magnetic camera.
This is outside the fence, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
right,
yes.
okay, yeah.
Like Flatbush.
Yeah, it's right on the street. Oh, the food, right on the side.
ביום השלישי, וישא אברהם את עיניו, וירא את המקום מרחוק. If you really follow Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov somehow, they never looked around. When they have to see something, they saw it. וישא, he's lifting his eyes, וירא את המקום מרחוק. What did he see?
Yeah, how does he know now that this
Yeah,
is
so
the
look at
place?
the Rashi, let us start.
Lashon, because
את המקום רענן קשור על ההר. Which means the skies are clear, and suddenly from far you see a cloud.
Side, you got a side.
Listen carefully now. This is a heavy duty pasuk, we know the
Yeah.
pasuk.
עם החמור.
ויאמר אברהם אל נעריו, שבו לכם פה עם החמור, you too stay here with the donkey. ואני והנער, נער, you said yesterday נער,
No.
נלכה עד כה, we are going ונשתחווה, ונשובה עליכם.
Plural,
How can
Vinashuva.
you say ונשובה? Yes,
Right.
ונשובה. Why is the donkey part of the story here? זה מה זה מעניין. שבו לכם פה אי, בחמור. זה קשה מאוד. And of course you know, look at the Rashi a second.
And also Hachamor, they all went on one?
No.
Maybe there was-
You
Chamor
stay-
is carrying.
Chamor is carrying the wood. No one.
But so there was only one animal that went
One-
with
one
wood,
chamor, one
they're
chamor.
walking. And
They're
the
walking.
other three
They are
walked.
walking. They are
Everybody
walking.
walked.
Yeah.
Abraham walked. Everybody
Everyone walked. Yeah.
That's why it took 3 days, I guess.
Look a second. Look a second. עד כה, מה זה המילה עד כה? So look at the Rashi. Every time Rashi is bringing a Midrash Agada, in addition to the Pshat, Rashi is telling you, I know the Pshat, but it's difficult just to buy the Pshat. You look at the Rashi. ומדרש אגדה, תקשיב טוב מה שהוא אומר, אראה, היכנו, מה שאמר לי המקום כה יהיה זרעך. I have a promise. I have a promise from Hashem, כה יהיה, Hashem is taking him out. Look at the
Yeah.
stars. כה יהיה זרעך. Which means the Midrash is telling us, Abraham in his mind has questions,
Oh,
but
yeah.
he's going anywhere. I mean,
That's part of the
so
Nisayon.
this is part of the Nisayon.
Mm.
Cool. I mean, I don't understand. I was promised that a nation.
And he knew it wasn't from Ishmael. In the prophecy, he sort
So
of knew.
now it's
Right.
So listen carefully. Rashi doesn't bring it.
But Rabbi Prague, why don't you give these Sfardim and all these Kohanim, the famous, the one about, why does it say Ko? Because it says the Ficha Chamar Makom Ko Tevarchu at Bnei Israel.
But this later, this is when we finish the Akedah, we come.
No, because I'm just doing it for our Sephardic brothers, Kohanim.
No,
he's saying that part of the, but תשמע מה שכתוב במדרש על החמור, רש"י didn't say חמור. The Midrash says here, he says to them, who are the two? Eliezer and Ishmael. He says to Amad Omer לחמור.
Yeah.
You, מה זה?
But what is the
Go to the Hamor.
לא,
Yeah.
שמע, הוא לא אומר להם, לא, yeah, but right. No, but listen carefully. Listen carefully. He's not saying it to him, to them, but he's saying the message is saying to himself. הוא לא אומר לשמוע את החמור. מה זה? תשמע. Listen to brilliancy of the. Listen to the brilliancy of the Beit HaLevi. Says Beit HaLevi, in the back of the mind, Abraham might think, I have a promise to build a nation. I must have children. So maybe Ishmael is a substitute. But Hashem is telling me, take Yitzchak,
still have one.
sacrificing everyone. Amad Omer Lechamor.
Oh,
He is definitely not going to substitute. This is how the Beit HaLevi
in other words,
explains.
you're in the back bench. He's going to the back bench. He's not a candidate. He's not gonna be next to back.
Rabbi Prague?
Back.
One Chamor, and where are the other Chamorim that are important in Tanakh? You have this Chamor,
Oh, it's by Bilam also.
Bilam, you have it, and doesn't the Mashiach come on a Chamor?
Tell the Maharab, תשמע טוב. Ani, this is the description of Mashiach, Ani, ורוכב על החמור. So I'm sure you saw many pictures of an old man on a donkey. This is the Mashiach. Chamor, says the Maharab, is the epitome of materialism. Zero brain, only body. שבו לכם פה עם החמור means, תקשיבו טוב, במדרש כתוב שהוא שואל אותם, do you see anything ahead? He said nothing. He says, you are stay with the chamor because your level of materialism,
That's your focus. That's all.
this is
Yeah,
your
anything
focus.
else.
It's not
Not capable.
degrading, it's not saying anything to them. ככה אומר,
But let's go back one step. What about Peter Rechem Chamor? Why did they pick the Chamor? What is the...
a second. So the same Maharal that is very famous, the Maharal says, מה זה Mashiach? Ani is a poor man, ורוכב על החמור. His greatness is that he's in full control of his physical desires. Ani, doesn't mean Ani doesn't money. Ani means materialism doesn't play a big role in it. The other Chamor you didn't mention, of course, is Moshe Rabbeinu. Is exactly the same, yes? וירבם על החמור, Moshe, but it's exactly the same. Moshe Rabbeinu, the leader, yes, is רוכב על החמור, is in full control of his physical.
And they didn't, and when you have the other stories, they were all on Gmalim. So why did it shift to Chamor? It's interesting.
This is why the Maharal, and you do realize that the Gamal carries much more. It's much more comfortable to be ever right. The Torah, according to the Maharal, the Chamor is the symbol. Yes, שבו לכם פה עם החמור. You're not up to
Standard.
this mission. You're not up to this mission. Okay. So when Abraham realizes that they are not part of the mission, they cannot be there.
So that means Abraham knows the promise was made. It's not gonna happen.
Correct. But you realize, according
This
to
doesn't
Rashi,
appear to be
Paul,
happening.
he's dealing with himself. Yeah, I have a promise. What?
He says, I'm saying, he sees it right straightforward. He tells us that Sarah's going to have children
Right.
afterwards.
This is
So now Hashem has.
this is the conflict that Abraham has.
What's
This is what Rashi is saying.
Hashem, what are you talking about? You
Right,
promised
right,
me.
right, right.
Could it be
Why
he
does
thought perhaps like we had other parts where he feels he is no longer worthy of keeping that promise, like we had before with Cantonti, for example?
Right. but
Could it be he had doubts?
No one mentioned because you directly Hashem is telling me. Okay, let's
Why,
continue.
why doesn't Ishmael push back? Like any normal kid, any normal child will say, oh, you're gonna take the younger brother and leave me here to watch the donkey? It doesn't make sense.
We have to remember what Eli said yesterday. This Ishmael already was kicked out of the house. If you take the position of most of the Midrashim that Yitzchak is 37, say Ishmael by now is 50.
Right.
So he doesn't wanna sit there.
And the
He's
contrary,
already been in the doghouse.
on the contrary, no. On the contrary, the fact that he was invited
Oh, it's a
for
big deal.
him, for him,
We'll let you come.
it's a very big.
Come to the
it's a- it's a
bleachers.
very big-
It also been 50.
Stay here while we go pray. Well, I'm not worthy to pray. It's shocking.
But wait a minute, by this time, is Ishmael, was he a Rovek? What was he at this point? What kind of human being? We just read about.
Oh, he's already married?
According to the
He's already married.
according to
Buhuye Peradam. Where does, I mean,
to the Pirkei de Rab Lezer, he's married by now.
Yeah.
But his back, Abraham took him back in. It's part of the experience.
Abraham went
Remember,
there.
he doesn't know what to anticipate, to expect. Let's see a minute.
Didn't say Abraham went to visit him also?
Right.
The Pirkei de Rab Lezer says he
Yeah.
went to visit. ויקח אברהם את עצי העולה now that the donkey is left behind. Abraham is taking the wood that he prepared that was placed on the donkey up till now.
Puts it on.
וישם על יצחק בנו. This is one of the proofs of the Ibn Ezra that Yitzchak couldn't have been,
told.
Yeah.
because you cannot
Carrying the
carry
load.
such a.
And also no surprise either.
ויקח בידו, you realize by yesterday, you need fire. Abraham carries for 3 days the fire with him.
Yeah, I never understood that. Why not make the fire when you get there?
By wood,
Yeah.
how would you make a
Can't
fire?
get the
You see,
spark.
me and you
How do
go-
we make? How do you make a fire where he is? I mean, it's the
Okay,
same.
so normally,
They rub
normally
two sticks
the Gemara-
together.
Pass the torch.
Yes, so do it there.
Abraham, but this, for the same reason that Abraham is taking the wood, because he doesn't want to leave any chance
It won't be
to
the
say,
right word.
no, this is exactly the proof. Eli says, okay, take 2 stones.
Yeah, the rest
Says,
of
Make
the-
the fire
other
there.
than it can't start the
Says, I
fire.
don't know exactly where
You
I'm
gotta
going to. I don't know exactly where I'm going to. We cannot really neither rely on the fact that you would find wood, no fire. ואת המאכלת. Did you ever hear you're going to hear a she you never heard in your life or never paid attention? Why is a knife called מאכלת?
Oh, yeah, jeez.
מה זה מאכלת?
Kabasa.
Yeah, I never realized that. Yeah.
This part is the easy
Great.
part. Look
Yeah.
at the second half of it. סכין, על שם שמאכלת את הבשר, which means after you slaughter the animal, you can eat the meat. Listen to the next. דבר אחר, זאת נקראת מאכלת, על שם שישראל אוכלים מתן שכרה. This Akedah is food for the Jewish people for generations to come. Yeah?
Return.
דבר
There's a
אחר,
foot of the-
is food of the Akedah.
Always.
נקראת מאכלת על שם שישראל אוכלים. גם כן, דברים אחרים.
In other words, they're living for the,
You.
living
Like
through
off
the
the
benefits
Zechut
of
This is exactly what he said. That when we say "V'zocher chazei abo," this is part of it. We now look at the Rashi now. מה זה וילכו שניהם יחדיו? Of course. I mean, if you left behind the two, says Rashi,
A beautiful Rashi.
says Rashi, אברהם שהיה יודע שהולך לשחוט את בנו, היה הולך ברצון ובשמחה, כיצחק שלא היה
Oh,
מרגיש.
so he won't feel anything.
This
So,
Rashi is of course against the Orach Chaim. Orach Chaim understand. Rashi says that according to Rashi up to this point, Yitzchak doesn't know exactly that he is the Korban. So if you want to see, the Pasuk wants to show us the willingness, the eagerness of Abraham, the same as, and of course after he's telling him, look a second now,
So Abraham is really indicating, so I'm with you the whole way. I'm staying by your side.
But
I'm with you.
but even though Yitzchak doesn't know, After Abraham is revealing it, after Abraham is revealing it, look a second, look at Pasuk Chet a second.
He says they carried the ish.
Yes,
Something that
yes.
was on fire the
Lantern,
whole time.
it's a fire.
Yeah, fire. Conceal the, you know.
Lantern.
Yeah, lantern
Carry
is like.
lantern with lantern.
Flame.
Look at
Flame.
Pasuk, look at Pasuk Chet a second. Look a second at Pasuk Chet.
Okay, so a torch.
Maybe there's some other way to shield it.
Look a second at Pasuk.
I asked the same question.
Yes.
I just asked this question. You're on the phone.
Look a second at Pasuk Chet. Look a second at Pasuk Chet. After Abraham reveals that he is a korban, the Pasuk says again by Yehushua, Pasuk Mavhir.
Twice?
מה אתה אומר?
Elo, he's going to find it for us. Not just telling him Yitzchak is going to be.
וילכו שניהם יחדיו. Look at the Rashi over there.
Yeah, let's see.
So Rashi says, the end of Pasuk Chet in Rashi, by you it's the Rashi, the third line. וילכו, ואף על פי שהבין יצחק, שהוא הולך להישחט, he is the קורבן, וילכו שניהם יחדיו, הרי אפשר בעברית. In the beginning, it's very easy. You know nothing. I know everything. So we're
Now we
focusing
both
on Abraham. Now we both know, and we
And
still.
they still don't.
Everyone knows these two Rashis. This is, but what people don't pay attention is when the story is over. Look further. All the way at the end of the story. Pasuk Yutet. Remember, the Akedah is over. וישב אברהם אל נעריו, ויקומו וילכו יחדיו בבאר שבע. Only the Rav of Brisk can pick up on this. Now, can you imagine when Abraham hears all the promises and all the praises, Atayadati, you feel like I'm $1 million man. The Torah says to us, וילכו יחדיו. Abraham was humble. And he's going back with Ishmael and Eliezer as if
Yeah,
nothing.
that was all four of them?
Really?
Not necessarily just the two like before.
Okay, we'll talk later. Okay, you understand? If Yachdav symbolizes twice that they are going equally, so Yachdav it also means.
But Prague,
Now I have a second. He's going to Eliezer and Ishmael. You remember we walked for 3 days? Well, they are back the same. Really the same. You just rose to the highest level of human being ever lived. But this is Yachdav 3 times in the parasha. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
do you think there's any connection between Yechidcha and going Yachad? Are they the same word?
זה מעניין מאוד. זה מעניין מאוד.
Because you look, I'm thinking the first puzzle, there's a play of words going through Yachdav, Yechidcha.
This type of a question you have to look either Hirsch or maybe when it seems Hirsch might.
I'll see if it's there.
I'm going to look to מעניין מאוד.
Rabbi, the first 2 times it says it has the word Shenehem, but here it doesn't.
No, of course not, because you have Ishmael and
Before.
Before. It says after he went.
After that, it says clearly the Akedah is over. Abraham is going back to
When he
Beersheba,
returned to them, then
and then the same as before. As far as we understand, they have no clue what went on.
On a personal note, when I wheeled my sister into the room, she's getting the liver transplant. She was so relieved that I was there with her. And when she came 2 days later, I was there. It's priceless.
Right.
Priceless.
Okay, let's look a second. Now the next pasuk, if you really read, I mean, we read it 1,000,000 times. Shema Shem Tov. Vayomer Yitzchak el Avraham Aviv. We are back to pasuk Zayin. So remember, by now, the 2 נערים are in the back, the Hamor is in the back, Abraham and Yitzchak are approaching. Okay? ויאמר יצחק אל אברהם אבי ויאמר אבי, my father, ויאמר הנני בני, ויאמר הנה האש והעצים, I see the fire, I see the wood, והיה עשה לעולם. Now, I'm rewriting the pasuk. ויאמר יצחק אל אברהם אבי ויאמר אבי, הנה האש והעצים והיעש. מה זה? Why in the middle you have, he says אבי. Abraham replies, הנני בני. He didn't say anything.
Over
ויאמר,
again.
now the pasuk should
Didn't
have
say
said,
Yeah.
Yitzchak is saying,
That's like an Orach Chaim type question.
you
You
know,
always ask,
says the Kli Yakar, he's asking his father, Daddy, are you still my father?
oh,
Are you still my father?
Right.
Maybe you're on a cleanse, a religious cleanse now. ויאמר, הנני בני.
so
זה מבטיח.
That sounds very much like Yaakov. Hatazeh b'ni Anochi Esav b'chorecha. It's a similar kind of literary way of doing it.
But you realize here, Abraham realized right away what he's
What's
asking.
happening?
He's asking Daddy, what is going on here? Avi? ויאמר, הנני בני. Yes, I'm your father. Now he's asking, yes, now that I hear, I have the question, הנה האש והעצים, והיה עשה לעולם. זה מבהיל מאוד, if you think about it, which means, if I remember we said yesterday, that the great masters, everyone saw. And everyone saw it before. So, the Chidushei Harim said that part of the challenge of the Akedah was that your religious faith should not overcome
Your humanity.
what you feel towards your father that loves his son and still doing it. Later we're going to see that in the Akedah, Abraham was crying for what? I love you. It's very painful, but I'm doing it because I have to do it. I realize this is the interpretation is very powerful and shows us where Abraham is standing. And you look again, ויאמר אברהם, אלוקים יראה לו עשה לעולם. You can read it in two ways. Either אלוקים יראה לו עשה לעולם בני. Now you realize if you like text, you are
Let's look at the Tamim.
no, but you should tell them you are the Korban. He's saying Elokim yir'eh lo aseh. Come on, le'olah b'ni. Look at the Rashi. This is what bothered Rashi. Why? No, says the lamb.
no, saying, the way saying, we're going to show you the lamb, but you're the sacrifice.
Look
I
at
don't know how
that. Look at that. Eli, because you have to read it the way I read it.
Come on.
Elokim yir'eh lo aseh. Come on, stop. Le'olah b'ni. Look at the
Oh,
Rashi.
yeah, it's a comma.
כלומר, יראה ויבחר לו עשה. Perhaps God will bring us there. ואם אין זה, לעולה בני.
You're going to be, oh,
You read it?
oh,
Yeah,
you don't
but
have to.
Yeah, but
Right now, there's nothing
You're
here.
the backup.
Right.
אלוקים יראה לו עשה,
That happens
ואם
to
אין
the only
זה, לעולה. This is the way Rashi read it.
So
that's but
just doing it to soothe him, or Abraham, did he know that
Abraham
he
definitely,
knew?
but
So
Abraham
he wanted to soothe him.
Abraham is
Ease it
telling,
up.
Rabbi Prague,
Uh,
why is the Elohim would have a different time instead of the Gershayim, it would have something different because it's separating it.
how do you understand the Gershayim? He's asking at the time. Okay. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue.
God
We'll
works.
finish it tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.
Rabbi Prague, also another question, if you have 1 sec.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a
Why in Tanakh do we go from here? I'm thinking the stories and while you were talking, I looked them up. Here we use the word chamor, and in Bilam it goes to aton. In Shaul it goes to aton. I don't understand. I'm just looking for. I don't expect an answer. I'm just.
I have an answer, but not on show. The way Chazal understood it, he had a sexual relationship with that Torah.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
The male. But on Shaul, I don't know. Shaul is Shaul Madyan. But normally, it seems that the male chamor is stronger than the female.
Oh, okay.
When you're taking it,
Oh, so an aton is atonot. Okay.
I don't know. I have two in my mind.
Yeshikayach, Rabbi Prague.
Oh, wait, okay.
One, there's another one there that's mine. You know, the one without the binding is mine.
Eli, without the.
You see that? Okay, leave it there. I hope no one will take it.
By the way, Rabbi Prague,
Yes.
as I'm looking this Elohim, and I don't understand it, it says that there are two different ta'amim that they give it, and some Devusim have this one, some have a Zakef Gadol, I don't know. There must be something about it, it's fascinating.
It's exactly your question. I mean, this answers your question.
I just,
Must say that it's not Gershaim, some say Zakev Gadol.
yeah.
Wow. I'm going to ask someone in school if it's Bakir Ta'amim.
It says Elokim, and then it says Kaif Gadol, Eino Kan Ela Beger Shayim, V'Kamo Kain Be something Chabshush, and then it says Yesh Tefusim Elokim Betam Zakef Gadol V'Chein Bekoran.
Wow, who says it?
No, that's just something that they put up as a footnote to the word Elokim.
I'm going to ask someone right now, yeah.
All right, so we'll speak later, Rabbi Prague. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Eshukayla.
Of the schools of blessing.
That's the difference, just tell me, you told me.